What if I told you that most graphic design trend videos right here on YouTube totally miss the most important and vital part of the whole topic? This is where most designers go wrong. They learn about design trends for the year ahead, and that's it. The truth is, this isn't only not enough, but thinking in this way can actually harm your projects and your work. If you follow today's strategy fully in this video, then you'll be able to properly and effectively use graphic design trends in your workflows. And I have a bonus strategy later as well. But the first strategy is called the Relevance, Resonance, Retain strategy. And I'm quickly going to explain this strategy and then show you how it works on a real design after. Step 1 is to evaluate the relevance. Here, we need to assess if the trend aligns with the project's objectives and the audience. And here, we need to ask very specific questions to ourselves. But more about that later. Step 2 is to tailor for resonance. Here, we adapt the trend to fit the brand's or the client's identity, and that's instead of copying it directly. And so we're going to make some subtle modifications to the trend and the design. Step 3 is to ensure the design still serves a purpose alongside the use of a trend. And so that's going to involve checking to see if the design does respect the brief and the goals while still using a trend. Great, but how does all of that look on a real design situation, and how do we actually go about implementing the trend in this way? Let's suggest that we're going to make a design for a fitness studio. This design on screen now is super bland, highly unoriginal, and can be a basis for us to improve upon. One trend for 2025 is bold minimalism, and this is the use of clean designs with large typography, simple layouts, and striking color contrasts. The first step is to evaluate the relevance of this trend. And here's the important part. Think of it like this. When considering your brief and your design, evaluate first, how long will the design that you're working on likely be used by the client? Will this poster be used for a month promotion, or maybe for the entire year of 2025? Either of these two situations will be fine for using a trend. However, if we were working on branding elements for the fitness brand, incorporating a trend into that project would not be a good idea. And that's because branding assets should align with a brand identity over multiple different years. Next, focus on the specific trend, so for us that is bold minimalism. For a fitness studio, this trend could work because it's a striking, simple and clean design which will grab attention. It emphasizes the message and it aligns with the fitness studio's focus on efficiency and clarity. The typography is especially hard-hitting in this trend. Also, the aesthetics of this trend align with younger people who typically are the people who sign up to fitness studios. So first, we have established that a trend can be used on our design, and we have found a trend that would align with the industry and target audience of our client. Now here's where a lot of designers actually go wrong in this situation. The next step is step 2 in the strategy, and that is resonance. This is where we want to tailor the trend to fit our design. This means it becomes more original and more appealing to our niche and the industry. But how can we do that in a very easy and very straightforward way each and every time in our workflows? Firstly, we can incorporate elements that reflect the studio's identity. So things such as using its brand colors for bold typography and minimalist shapes. We can even do things like choosing imagery of real members or local fitness icons instead of generic stock photos. And maybe even add in some fitness related icons like dumbbells or motion lines. And when added into the minimal design, this might make it a bit more unique and it might resonate with the studio's values and audience a little bit more. So the second step actually involves us first understanding the client, the project and the audience. And then we want to leverage a trend to differentiate the design in that niche sector. It does involve being creative and we really do not want to copy the trend directly. But step 3 is something equally important. We cannot and should not forget why we are working on a design. What you need to remember is that the trend is nowhere near to being the most crucial or important aspect of your design. Your design's purpose and function is still king and paramount. In the context of our fitness studio poster, this step means ensuring every element in the design serves a clear, purposeful function. One that aligns with the studio's objectives and the trend of bold minimalism. So we want to make sure the CTA is clear and visible. We want the design to give a sense of idealism in the sense that the target audience would aspire to be like the people they see on the design. We want the aesthetics to look modern or energetic, and so on. Never forget about the purpose and direction of the design you're working on, and don't focus too much on the trend itself. And to summarize, first, evaluate if your design can realistically use a trend, and then find a trend that fits into your niche with your audience and so on. Second, tailor the trend to be more original, and lastly, make sure the design still has a purpose and respects that purpose. Now, I promised you a bonus strategy, and that's exactly what we're going to get and see to right now. For this strategy, why utilize one trend when we can use two? For example, we can consider an eco-friendly tech company design. Here we could combine the aesthetics of bold minimalism with the earthy, organic textures and colors of the trend natural design. The result is a design that feels clean and modern, but with a warm, inviting element to it like wood textures and soft greens. And this creates a sense of sustainability and sophistication. Again, you must consider the target audience and niche when using this strategy, or any trend for that matter. Sure, if you want to learn about what is trending in the graphic design world in 2025, that can be done with a 10-second Google search. But what I've shown you here today in this video is not something you will find so easily. And it's a lot more important than simply just knowing what is trending and what's not trending in the graphic design space. And if you want to keep learning about the key and important aspects of graphic design, branding, and succeeding as a creative, subscribe for future content and drop a like on today's video. And until next time guys, design your future today. Peace.